Hello and welcome to your astrological vibrations for Tuesday, March 12th, 2024 by Gaia Blooming. I'm Mimi, that's Luce, and our energy mantra for today is Mastery is in the Love. We have an interesting day. We're going to start off a little bit of like a lion and end with some deer energy. Brought to you by Rumi. We'll get to that, but we kick off the day with the moon in Aries, and it's kind of like a fiery start as the moon in Aries is connecting with Mars in Aquarius. And so it kind of depends what vibe you choose to ride, what vibe you choose to resonate with. But I will tell you that the first out card that I pulled is the suppression. And so you may be feeling that. I know that, like, I actually love the other time change, this one where I lose an hour. Man, it affects me. But the good, the beautiful is that it's easier to wake up for for sunrises now, time-wise. So you may be feeling some of that energy, some of that challenge. Mars just has, like, aggression under the surface that's always ready to, like, it can also be desire and passion under the surface, but there's a good chance that this is like an aggressive feel. You get to choose the vibe you ride. Just keep that in mind. And then we kind of go into a void day. The moon isn't going to shift until almost 5:30 p.m. Pacific time into Taurus. So it's kind of a cooling down period through the day. And then we go into the ultimate lazy cat land. We get to luxuriate and marinate in pleasure and whatever as we have the moon in Taurus meeting with Venus newly in Pisces. Truly, this is the ultimate lazy cat, as my ultimate lazy cat is talking up a storm over there. Joe walked in the door in this case, and she has much to tell him. But as the moon and Venus connect, especially if you had a suppressive beginning to your day, see where you can rest, see where you can loaf, see where you can luxuriate, see where you can tend to your own lazy cat, but tend to your own personal pleasure and goodness. This is not about overdoing, but it's about, like, even in the simplest things, like, you know, climbing into your bed and, like, leaning back on your pillows, just really finding the luxury, the beauty in that connection. Or if you're eating dinner, for instance, like that bite of whatever it is. I'm like, salad, pasta, fruit. Those are the things that are popping up. I guess I'm hungry. Let it be that. The only thing is, there's always a thing, right? We're going to have the moon squaring Pluto as well. And that moon squaring Pluto may feel a little tense. Again, it's more of these Aquarius, Taurus, Aquarius squares, where what is not what you want it to be. And there's a big lesson here for all of us in accepting the challenge of the daydream, to be able to daydream a new reality. So watch for that, but you may feel some tension. You may feel like things are harshing your pleasure. That's the word that's coming through. But you can still empower your pleasure. Now, I've got some really interesting cards for the rest of the day. Like, I really feel like we don't have to stay on this wave, on the suppression wave, but you might feel it, and if you do, you gotta move this energy out and through. the rest of the cards, this card actually insisted on coming out. I was trying to pull the card next to it, and I kept trying to pull the card next to it, and every time I tried to pull the card, it was like, no, I'm coming with. No, I'm coming with. This is the Innocence card. It's the card of the sun. It's a card of success. It's a card of good things happening. And it's just remembering, again, like the simpleness and to engage yourself in that energy. Again, especially if you're feeling the black vibes. Get creative. Get creative with your experience. Get creative with your daydream. This is, again, hard if you're feeling that black, but that friendly energy. Remembering that the universe is friendly. And I have a story about this card. So this card always reminds me of a Rumi verse. And the Rumi verse is, beyond right doing and wrong doing, there's a field. I'll meet you there. One time on one of my scopes, I was like, beyond right doing and wrong doing, there's a tree, and I'll meet you there. Because this is the card, I don't know why, but I always think of this card. So my Rumi verse has become a place with a tree, and one of my friends always makes fun of me for it. So here we are, we're finding the friendliness, we're finding the beautiful mirrors in the challenge. Today is a 22-degree day, and we do have Saturn at 11. Do you have any other master numbers? Moon is moving through 22 degrees. So we've got some mastery up our sleeve to tend to. And the universe is like, don't worry, you got this. You can daydream. You can find the good. You can get past the suppression. You can do this. So let's get to this Rumi card, which is beautiful. It's the lion and the deer. Speaking of master numbers, it's a 22, just like the sun today. And the Rumi verse is, when you enter the garden of the heart, you become fragrant like the rose. When you fly towards heaven, you become graceful like the angel. If you get burned like oil, you become brilliant. When you become thin like hair and yearning, your joy leads the way. You'll be the kingdom and the king. You'll be the paradise and the guardian angel. You'll be infidelity and you'll be faith. You'll be the lion and you'll be the deer. So the guidance of this oracle brings you is that you shall prosper now, most now, if you're willing to unbecome what you had believed yourself to be. It was never really true anyways, that view. It was partial at best and just a view, not an identity, not a genuine reality. Some of your previous sense of self shall likely come with this transition into the fuller experience of your being, and some of that previous identity shall be shed as far too limiting. It just won't feel true for you anymore if it ever did. Any crisis or confusion this brings shall be temporary fuel to ignite the divine fires within. They simmer into life, cooking you from within, bringing all of your flavors, spicy and sweet, bitter and sour, into perfect balance, so that your being, your presence, becomes an exquisite dish served up as a divine feast. You shall become the nourishment for the world in perfect balance. Your being will hold all, for it holds all within it. It will deny nothing, and it will become tonic to feed every taste, every appetite, every hunger, every deficiency. What an extraordinary, sublime meal you shall be. Sounds very Taurus. And how your presence shall nourish the world. And it all begins with shedding the either or the or, the recognizing instead of the all. So it's basically like embracing the oneness, right? With such wild permission for unconditional love, you shall thrive in your beingness and feed the hungry world with a meal complete, satisfying, and exquisite. Should I read this sacred honoring ritual? I think I'm gonna, even though it's long. Okay. And I asked for the card. So, say aloud, Rumi, who loves me unconditionally, bear witness to my declaration now. I honor the spiritual maturity within me that bestows upon my consciousness this sacred task. I have accepted the fundamental goodness of my being and can now cast aside all notions held of myself and inquire into my wholeness. What nestles alongside this goodness? All, of course. I am unafraid, I honor my heart, and it is big enough to hold all my nature within its graceful light. I witness my darkness with compassion, and I become able to dance with all of my being, light and dark, in graceful acknowledgement of my divine wholeness. The gentle acceptance of all of me now brings peace. This acceptance allows the divine to live fully through me as a vessel for the great mysterious plan unfolding upon the earth. With reverence, grace, and surrender, so be it. And it says to sit quietly and look at the card. Here's the card. And notice the colors, the interplay of the light and the dark that create the one beautiful image. And this represents you. All light and all dark would have no art at all remaining, only extremes. It is the interplay of light and dark that enables the living art in progress, your soul to come most fully to life. When you are ready, simply say thank you. Thank you. And you have completed your ritual. So, I'm going to leave that here for today. You can book a reading with me. Email me for that. And the better it gets, the better it gets. There's more than enough love in the world for you. You have the power. And remember who you are, for you are the solution. Namaste.